Hello, everybody. Today I'm here suggesting 10 more series to get added into Disney Heroes Battle Mode. Now, I did one of these earlier in the summer, and now I'm ready to do one more. And I'm kind of running out, but I'm excited to do one more of these. There's still at least 10 that I'd love to see. So I tried to get some that have been highly requested. And I've also just tried to think of ones that I think are somewhat likely. And if you don't know how this works, I'm basically just listing 10 series that aren't already in the game, and then also suggesting some characters from those series that could come along with it, and possibly looking at some of their moves, or what they might be like, or how likely they are. And it's just fun speculating who could come and see if I get any right. Now, from the previous video, I already got the Rescue Rangers correct. I think that's the only one that I got so far. There haven't been a lot of new series as of recently. But I did get the Rescue Rangers, so I thought that was pretty cool. And I even suggested the exact combination of Gadget and then a duo between Chip and Dale. So that was awesome. Anyways, without further ado, I think we should get into the list here. So first up, I thought I'd go with a fairly modern one that hasn't even released yet. Disney's Encanto. I think it's coming out this year, right? Like later in the year, maybe November. And we've got a trailer for it, or like a teaser trailer. It looks interesting, but so far with recent movies, Disney has not been adding the series, so I don't know how likely this would be. But it's possible they want to market it with Disney Heroes Battle Mode, and therefore we would get... Shoot, I already forgot her name. I should definitely look it up real quick. Maribel. I don't even need to look it up. And there were some other characters in the trailer that we saw for a little bit, but I guess I just didn't see enough of anyone to think they stood out enough. But the point of Encanto is that everyone around Maribel has superpowers. So theoretically, all of them could be great and have theoretical movesets for the game. And funny enough, Maribel is probably the one that doesn't have as much of a moveset at this point. So really any of the side characters could probably show up as well. I just don't know who to suggest is all. And I thought that'd be a good place to start. And it's kind of the same idea going into the next one, which is Jungle Cruise. We've seen it get added to Disney Sorcerer's Arena and even Disney Mirrorverse, which is crazy to me. But we've seen it show up in the others, so I think it's fairly likely and definitely possible that we get Jungle Cruise characters. Disney Sorcerer's Arena added Frank Wolf and Lily Houghton. I forget if that's her last name, but I think it is. So it's definitely possible, like I said, and we haven't gotten a live action series in a long time. So since this one seems to be fairly popular and is getting added to the other games that we all play, I think it's possible that they get added to this too, and probably the most likely live action characters right now. Honestly, if I end up uploading this video like a week from when I'm recording it, they could already have been data mined or something. I have no idea. But yeah, I think it's fairly likely, and we definitely have movesets for them considering we've got them in multiple games. So I'd be curious to see what they could do with that. Let's move on to a TV show, and I'm starting off with Big City Greens. I think this might be my favorite modern Disney Channel show. It doesn't need to have too much of a story going on. It's really fun to just sit down and see what the characters get up to. I really love each of the characters. And I'm always interested to see what they're going to be doing and how they're going to interact with the new situations. So I would love to see Cricket and Tilly get added at least. And then I think if they did another one, they'd probably do Grandma. I feel like she's kind of a fan favorite and also probably has the best moveset potential in general. Tilly probably has the least moveset potential. And maybe they would do Cricket and Grandma then. I don't know. I don't know how likely it would even be to get 3 characters from this, if even 1. But I think it'd be really cool to see them get added to the game. We've seen TV shows get added, so it could be possible. They're definitely not the most popular, but I really like them, and that's why I put them on the list. Let's move on to the next series, which is Bolt. This one's been suggested for a little while in these videos, so I figured it's about time I do it. And I really like Bolt. It was one of my childhood movies that I watched a lot. And I think if they were to do it, they'd probably just do Bolt by himself and then have Rhino in his moveset. I don't know how likely Mittens would be, and especially any of the human characters. I don't think they would be likely at all. I do know that Bolt is a pretty beloved series, especially for people who grew up around the same time that I did. A lot of people grew up with this movie, and he's pretty cute. And we're running out of new series to get as well, so I think there's a fairly good chance that we could see Bolt someday, and I think he'd be really cool to get. We don't have a lot of dog characters just by themselves, so it'd be fun to get him too. Let's move on to the next series. I've been saying I want to do this for a while. I should have just forgot the last video, and I was going to do this one and that one, but it is Pinocchio. Like I said, I just forgot about him, but I finally remember to do it now. And I think they would just do Pinocchio and then probably have Jiminy Cricket in his moveset. Makes a lot of sense to me. They could do a lot of stuff with his nose growing, and when he has the strings on him, they could even turn him into a donkey for a little while if they wanted. There's a bunch of different stuff that they could have, and it'd be fun to see. Pinocchio's a pretty classic character, and I think he works on his own pretty well. So it could be one of those series that just gets one character, and that's that. And there are very few classic movies we don't have any characters from, so I think it's fair to say we would get Pinocchio at some point as well. I'd love to see him in any of the Disney games I play. He's not really in any of them. I guess he's not that popular of a character, I don't know. Anyways, let's move on to another live action one. I chose Hocus Pocus. And that's just because I was looking at which ones are in Disney Emoji Blitz, and this was one of them that stood out. They added, I think, maybe all three of them, but I unlocked Sarah Sanderson, and then there's also, Mildred and Mary. Mildred, Mary, and Sarah, the three Sanderson sisters. Maybe a trio. Maybe we just get one of them, like Sarah, for example. I don't know. They don't do a lot of live action stuff, but I like to try to include them in each one just to kind of get some diversity in my choices. I don't think Hocus Pocus is all that likely, but if we are to get another classic live action movie added to the game, I think it'd probably be fairly likely. I bet a lot of my viewers don't even know what Hocus Pocus is, but it's a fun movie. You could check it out. Anyways, let's move on to Bambi, another one pretty similar to the Pinocchio choice. I think it's possible we get two characters to this one with Bambi and Thumper, or maybe again we'd get Bambi and then Thumper, and maybe some of the other side characters we could get as well. But I think Bambi's another one that's just fairly likely if we're gonna get some more classic Disney characters, and another one which is we could just get one for the series and that's it. Same as Dumbo, who I suggested in the previous one. That's the theme with a lot of these older movies, where I think it's just likely to get the main character and that's about it. I'm honestly kind of surprised we don't have Bambi, but again, there's not a lot of moveset potential, so maybe that's part of the reason why. But it'd be cool to see, and it's one of the few classic movies, like I said, with Pinocchio, that we have yet to see. Now this next movie is going to be in the same vein as the Bolt choice, where I chose Chicken Little. To be fair, this movie is kind of universally hated. Me and my friend watched this the other day, and we absolutely loved it. To be fair, it was 5 in the morning. I watched it a lot as a kid, and I heard a lot of people that didn't like it, and their criticisms are fair, but also I think it's just a fun movie to watch in general. There's some jokes that aren't funny that just are really funny because they aren't funny. And Butt Cuck is the worst dad. I don't care what people say. I think this one's fairly unlikely, if I'm being honest. I was running low on choices. But if we were to get any characters, I think we'd get Chicken Little himself, and then Abby Mallard is another fairly likely one. I wanted to add Fish just because he's probably the coolest one. And then I think maybe that little orange alien could be part of Chicken Little's moveset. Maybe it's possible we get Chicken Little someday, just as himself, similar to Pinocchio and Bambi, but I don't know. I don't think it's that likely. I just thought it'd be funny to add it on here, and I don't see a lot of people suggesting it, so I don't think it would be all that likely anyways, but it'd be I think it'd be fun. And if the developers want to have fun with it, that'd be great too. Let's move on to the final TV show, and I chose The Owl House. And I've kept up with The Owl House. It's not my favorite. The setting is really the problem for me. I really like the characters. I really like the story that they're going for. That kind of setting just isn't my kind of thing. But I've been keeping up with it, and I'm enjoying it still. I've seen every episode so far. We're in the middle of season 2, and it's going pretty good. And I think I usually do 3 characters for these TV shows, I guess, but they have so many main characters that I feel like it's fair. Obviously Luz. We would have to get Luz if we were going to get it. And then Ida, I think, is also fairly likely. And again, with King, it's like maybe they would just do King and Luz or Ida's movesets. Or maybe he'd get his own character, and I'd love to have him as just his own standalone character as well. They all have a bunch of different moveset potentials, and I'd love to see it. King is my favorite, if I'm being honest, so I'd probably want him. I also really like... I say I really like this character, and then I can't even think of her name. Whatever, I guess it's not important. Oh, Amity. I like Amity a lot. It would be cool to see her too. And yeah, they all have a bunch of move potentials. Luz could use her glyphs. Ida, she could turn into the Owl Beast. King has that new Scream ability that I just got in the recent episodes. So yeah, there's a bunch of different moves that they have. So yeah, that's the video. Wait, what? Oh, there's one more? Well, who could it be? Well, if I had to choose one more, there is another TV show that a certain Santiago Galvan has been suggesting for literally over a year. Yeah, I think it's time. Amphibia. I hope this makes you happy, Santiago. Amphibia I like a lot more than The Owl House, if I'm being honest. And the 3rd season is going to be really good. It looks really good. The finale to season 2 was amazing. And 4 characters. Obviously, again, we get the main character of Anne. And I don't think it's possible to get Sprig as part of her moveset. I think he'd need to be standalone. And I think if we were to get it, we'd probably at least get Anne and Sprig. But I would also love to see Sasha add as well. And the same kind of thing with how they added Draken to Kim Possible. We could see the sort of main antagonist of Sasha get added. I also really like the main Toad villain. I can't think of his name. Oh, is it Grime? But I think Sasha's probably more likely anyways. And I think she's pretty cool too. So, but there are also a bunch of other main characters. Like Polly could maybe be part of... It could be like Sprig and Polly as a duo. I guess I didn't really think about that. And yeah, Santiago's been suggesting that for a very long time. Other people suggest it too, but him specifically, he's asked for Anne and Sprig for so long. And I think it's only fair that I add it to this kind of series. If this is going to be my last one, it's time we finally talk about them. And sorry if I kind of tricked you out of that, but I really just wanted to keep it a surprise because I know you've been waiting so long, and I would really love to see it. I don't know if they're the most likely TV show we could get anytime soon, but for your sake, I would love for them to get added. And I'd love to see any of the characters that I suggested today get added. If you have any more series you can think of that are either likely or you just personally would really love to see, I'd love to hear about it, you know. If we're able to get 10 more, maybe sometime in the future I will do another 10. But we are running pretty low on series that are even somewhat possible. But we have seen series like The Rocketeer, so really anything is possible. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.